October 28th, 2013. Lawrenceville, Georgia. A child's bedroom that should have been filled with laughter held only silence. Imani Moss, 10 years old, weighed just 32 pounds. Her stepmother had starved her to death. How does love become murder? How does care become cruelty? Welcome to Shattered Crime, where we uncover the darkest truths hidden behind ordinary faces. Today, we explore Atlanta and Georgia's most notorious female criminals, from stepmothers to lovers, from teenagers to death row inmates. These are the true stories of women who crossed the ultimate line. From child starvation to conspiracy murder, each case reveals how far someone will go when rage, desperation, or evil takes control. What you're about to hear isn't fiction, it's documented reality. First case. Tiffany Nicole Moss, Lawrenceville, Gwinnett County, Georgia. 2013. The fall of 2013 should have brought joy to 10-year-old Imani Gabriel Moss. Born April 23, 2003, Imani had already survived abandonment by her birth mother and years of instability. Her father, Emin Moss, gained custody and in 2009 married Tiffany, a former preschool teacher. Tiffany had 2 biological children with Emin. But while she fed her own children normally, Imani was singled out, isolated, starved. Tiffany Nicole Moss wasn't just a stepmother. She was Imani's executioner. Over several weeks in 2013, Tiffany intentionally denied Imani food. The child was confined to her bedroom, locked away from the family. Previous abuse reports had been made to child welfare authorities, but Imani was always returned home. The family moved frequently, cutting off outside supervision. No one intervened in time. By October 28, 2013, Imani weighed only 32 pounds, the weight of a toddler. She was too weak to walk, too weak to eat, too weak to use the bathroom. She died slowly, suffering from prolonged starvation while Tiffany's biological children ate meals in the next room. Imani collapsed on her bedroom floor, and Tiffany let her die. After Imani's death, Tiffany and Emin attempted to cover up the crime. They kept her body in the apartment for days. Then they tried to burn her remains in a trash can using charcoal and lighter fluid. The plan failed. Emin later confessed to a friend who urged him to contact police. Officers discovered Imani's remains and immediately identified both parents as suspects. Emin Moss confessed to concealing the death and cooperated with investigators. He pled guilty in 2015 to felony murder and concealing a death. He received life without parole. Tiffany Moss fled briefly with her children, but later turned herself in. She refused plea deals. She chose to represent herself at trial. April 2019. Tiffany Moss stood trial in Gwinnett County Superior Court. She was convicted of malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, first-degree cruelty to children, and concealing a death. The jury recommended death. On May 1, 2019, the judge sentenced her to death by lethal injection. Tiffany Nicole Moss became Georgia's only female death row inmate. She was transferred to Arundel State Prison, where she remains today. Imani's murder exposed catastrophic failures within Georgia's Division of Family and Child Services. Workers were fired. Reforms were implemented. But Imani is still dead, and Tiffany Moss sits on death row, awaiting execution for starving a child to death. A 10-year-old girl starved while her stepmother watched. But in Auburn, another woman would orchestrate murder from the shadows. Second case. Kelly Renée Gissendaner, 29 years old. Auburn, Gwinnett County, Georgia. 1997. February 7th, 1997. A cold winter night in Gwinnett County. Douglas Gissendaner, a 30-year-old husband and father, left his home believing he was going to meet his wife Kelly for dinner. He never came back. What Douglas didn't know was that Kelly had orchestrated his murder. She'd recruited her lover, Gregory Owen, to kill him. And Owen was waiting. Kelly Renée Gissendaner was born March 8, 1968, into a poor cotton farming family. She endured severe childhood trauma, including sexual abuse by her stepfather. She became a teenage mother and married multiple times, including 2 marriages to Douglas. Their relationship was unstable. Financial problems, separations, infidelity. Despite remarrying in 1995 and buying a home together in 1996, the marriage collapsed. Kelly wanted out, and she wanted everything. Gregory Owen ambushed Douglas near their home, forced him into a car at knife point, and drove him to a remote wooded area near Harbins Park. Owen beat Douglas with a nightstick. Then he stabbed him multiple times, killing him. Kelly arrived shortly afterward. Together they set Douglas's car on fire and hid his body in the woods. Prosecutors argued the motive was financial gain, ownership of the house, life insurance benefits, and freedom to be with Owen. Gregory Owen was arrested and confessed. Prosecutors offered both Owen and Kelly plea deals that would have resulted in life sentences. Owen accepted and agreed to testify. Kelly rejected the deal. She went to trial. Evidence revealed she had threatened witnesses and attempted to pay someone to commit perjury. The jury heard it all. In 1998, Kelly Renée Gissendaner was convicted of orchestrating malice murder and sentenced to death. Gregory Owen, the man who actually killed Douglas, received life with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Kelly became the only woman on Georgia's death row. While incarcerated, Kelly underwent a widely publicized religious conversion. She became involved in prison ministry, counseling other inmates, helping prevent suicides. She completed a theology program through Emory University and studied major Christian theologians. Correctional officers, fellow inmates, and religious leaders supported clemency. Pope Francis's representatives urged mercy. The Georgia Board of Pardons and Paroles denied relief. September 30th, 2015, 12:21 a.m. Kelly Gissendaner was executed by lethal injection at Georgia Diagnostic and Classification State Prison. She was 47 years old. Her final moments included prayer, singing Amazing Grace, and a statement expressing remorse to Douglas's family. She became the first woman executed in Georgia since 1945, and the only woman executed in the United States in 2015. Kelly's execution reignited national debates about redemption, childhood trauma, and whether personal transformation should influence capital punishment. Douglas's family says justice was served. Kelly's supporters say she deserved mercy. The debate continues. A conspiracy murder ended in execution. But in DeKalb County, a mother's rage would turn deadly. Third case. Sophia Williams, 43 years old, DeKalb County, Georgia, 2022. March 5th, 2022. Trigoni Drive in DeKalb County. A 4-year-old boy named Anthony Weiss lived with his mother, Sophia Williams, and other children in a small apartment. Anthony wasn't potty trained, and for Sophia, that became a reason to beat him to death. Sophia Williams admitted to repeatedly disciplining Anthony for failing to use the toilet. On March 5th, frustration turned to violence. She struck the child with her hand, a house slipper, a purse strap, and a charging cord. A 13-year-old in the home later testified that Williams whooped Anthony until he became dizzy, collapsed, and fell unresponsive onto the floor. Williams moved Anthony to a bed and threw water on him. He briefly revived. Then he lost consciousness again. Anthony remained unresponsive throughout the night, showing only involuntary movements, arm jerks, leg kicks. Despite clear signs of severe head injury, Williams did not seek medical help. She watched her son die. By early morning on March 6th, Anthony was completely limp, making low grunting sounds. He stopped breathing around 5 a.m. Williams waited approximately 40 minutes before calling the child's father. She didn't call 911 until about 6:25 a.m., more than an hour after Anthony stopped breathing. First responders found Anthony unresponsive with extensive new and old bruising across his body. He was transported to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, where he was pronounced dead. An autopsy confirmed blunt force trauma to the head. Medical experts testified Anthony likely would have survived had medical care been provided earlier. Investigators discovered Williams had searched online for remedy for concussion and coma, symptoms and causes. She admitted delaying the 911 call because she feared authorities would notice the bruises. She chose her freedom over her son's life. August 27, 2025, DeKalb County Superior Court. Sophia Williams was convicted of malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, 4 counts of first-degree cruelty to children, and 3 counts of aggravated battery. She was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, plus 10 additional years. Prosecutors emphasized that Anthony's death was entirely preventable. Immediate medical intervention could have saved him. Instead, Williams watched him suffer for over 12 hours. A 4-year-old boy beaten to death for not being potty trained. A mother who chose punishment over mercy. Sophia Williams will never leave prison. Anthony Weiss will never grow up a mother's brutality. But in Americus, a teenage girlfriend's jealousy would turn fatal. 4th case, Trinity Poague, 18 years old, Americus, Sumter County, Georgia. 2024, January 13th, 2024. A typical Saturday in Americus. Trinity Poague, a former local beauty pageant winner from Donaldsonville, was dating a man with an 18-month-old son named J.D. Williams, also called Romeo. Trinity resented the toddler. She believed he interfered with her desire to have her own child. Text messages would later reveal her hatred. He hates me, and I hate him. That afternoon, JD's father left Trinity alone with the toddler for approximately 30 minutes while he went to Walmart to buy drinks and pizza. When he returned, Trinity called him twice, claiming something was wrong. JD was unresponsive. In just 30 minutes, Trinity had inflicted catastrophic injuries. Trinity provided multiple explanations. JD had fallen from a bed, fallen from a chair. Medical experts testified these accounts were impossible. The child suffered massive brain bleeding and a skull fracture caused by blunt force trauma. Photos taken shortly before the incident showed JD was healthy and uninjured. The injuries were intentionally inflicted. JD was rushed to Phoebe Sumter Hospital in Americus, where doctors attempted life-saving measures. He died from his injuries. On January 14th, 2024, Georgia Southwestern State University Police requested assistance from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Investigators reviewed medical findings, conducted interviews, and analyzed Trinity's shifting statements. Prosecutors introduced disturbing text messages Trinity sent to her roommate, expressing hatred toward JD. She'd written about wanting him gone. The GBI concluded the injuries were intentionally inflicted. Trinity Poague was arrested and charged with aggravated battery, felony murder, and first-degree cruelty to children. She was held without bond. In 2025, Trinity Poague stood trial in Georgia Superior Court. The jury acquitted her of malice murder, but convicted her of 2 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of aggravated battery, and first-degree cruelty to children. The jury deliberated for approximately 3 hours. Trinity Poague was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 30 years. 1 count of felony murder was later vacated. Aggravated battery charges were merged. But the sentence stood: life behind bars for killing an 18-month-old boy in 30 minutes. The judge acknowledged the tragedy, but stated that life imprisonment was appropriate for the conduct that led to JD's death. Trinity's age, lack of prior criminal history, and former public image as a pageant winner sparked public debate. But prosecutors emphasized one fact: a completely defenseless child was dead, and Trinity Poague was responsible. A toddler murdered in half an hour. But in Chatham County, a mother's lies would lead to a landfill search. 5th case, Leilani Simon, Chatham County, near Savannah, Georgia. 2022. October 5th, 2022. Leilani Simon called 911, reporting her 20-month-old son, Quinton, missing from his indoor playpen. Police responded immediately. Extensive searches of the home and surrounding neighborhood found nothing. Days passed. Quinton remained missing. And then investigators announced they believed Quinton was dead. Leilani Simon was named the prime and sole suspect. Authorities launched a weeks-long landfill excavation. FBI agents and local police sifted through tons of trash, searching for a toddler's remains. Eventually, human remains were recovered. DNA confirmed they belonged to Quinton Simon. The autopsy revealed blunt force trauma caused by an unknown object. Quinton had been murdered, and his mother had disposed of him like garbage. Evidence showed Leilani placed Quinton's body in a trash bin approximately 3 miles from their home. She then misled police and implicated innocent people. Investigators testified that on the night the landfill search was publicly announced, Leilani was out drinking. She showed no remorse, no accountability. Prosecutors later stated she appeared sorry she got caught, not sorry for what she did. November 2022. Leilani Simon was arrested. December 2022, she was formally indicted on murder and additional charges. At trial in 2024, the jury convicted her of malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, concealing the death of another, false reports, false statements, and additional related offenses, 18 convictions in total. During sentencing, multiple family members and acquaintances testified on Leilani's behalf. They described her as loving toward her children, non-violent, academically gifted, and affected by long-term family drug addiction. Several witnesses asserted both parents abused drugs, but only Leilani was charged. They requested life with parole, not without parole. Leilani Simon did not testify and did not admit responsibility, but she consented to release Quinton's remains to family, stating, "My son's been through enough. I want my baby home." Judge Tammy Stokes sentenced Leilani Simon to life in prison with the possibility of parole, plus 10 additional years for concealing the death. The judge stated, "Little Quinton Simon's life and death impacted many individuals, but also the community at large. Leilani will be eligible for parole in the future, though the exact timeline is determined by the parole board." A 20-month-old boy thrown away in a landfill, his mother convicted of murder, and the lies that led investigators on a massive search while Quinton's body decomposed in trash. A modern tragedy, but decades earlier, another Georgia woman poisoned her way through family after family. 6th case, Roberta Elder, Atlanta, Georgia. 1952. The early 1950s in Atlanta. Roberta Elder lived on Eason Street with her husband, Reverend William M. Elder, and his 5 children from a previous marriage. The marriage lasted just over 2 years. Then, Reverend Elder died suddenly after eating bananas and cheese. 1 year earlier, his daughter Fannie Mae had died of pneumonia. 2 years before that, another daughter, Annie Pearl, also died of pneumonia. All 3 deaths occurred in Roberta's household. The coroner noticed something unusual: Reverend Elder's emaciated body and ruddy skin tone. The symptoms were inconsistent with pneumonia, but consistent with arsenic poisoning. Tests confirmed arsenic in his body. Authorities exhumed Annie Pearl and Fannie Mae. Arsenic traces were found in their hair. Roberta Elder had poisoned them all. Surviving children reported Roberta regularly administering milk of magnesia to the sick, later suspected as the delivery method for poison. After the deaths, surviving family members showed symptoms of arsenic exposure and were treated. Investigators began digging deeper. What they uncovered was horrifying. The pattern dated back to 1938, beginning with the death of her common-law husband, John Woodward. Additional suspected victims included an adult son, 2 infant children, 1 week old and 2 weeks old, a grandchild, and her mother. Up to 10 people may have been poisoned by Roberta Elder. She took out life insurance policies on nearly all of them. Payouts ranged from $50 to $550. Murder for pocket change. Police never proved where Roberta obtained the arsenic, though family believed it came from her brother's farm. She maintained her innocence throughout the investigation and trial. She never confessed. But the evidence was overwhelming. Multiple deaths, arsenic in the bodies, insurance policies, and a pattern stretching over 14 years. Roberta Elder was arrested and prosecuted based entirely on circumstantial evidence. She was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. The prosecutor publicly lamented that Georgia law did not allow execution in cases relying solely on circumstantial evidence. The black press dubbed her Atlanta's Mrs. Bluebeard. The Pittsburgh Courier and Chicago Defender covered the case extensively, but mainstream white media largely ignored it. In contrast, white serial killer Nanny Doss, accused the same year of killing multiple husbands and family members, received nationwide coverage and enduring notoriety as the giggling granny. Scholars later argued that Roberta Elder's obscurity reflects systemic racial bias in media coverage. Black victims receive less attention. Black criminals receive less notoriety. Roberta Elder poisoned up to 10 people. But history barely remembers her name. A serial poisoner forgotten by history. But in Macon, a love triangle would turn deadly. 7th case, Brandi Nicole Dixon, Macon, Bibb County, Georgia. 2018, July 2018. A birthday party on Pebble Street in Macon. George Duhart, known as Little Man, was celebrating. But 2 women at the party didn't know they were both dating him. Brandi Dixon and Ebony Smith. When they found out, the confrontation turned deadly. The argument escalated quickly. Ebony Smith retrieved a gun from her glove compartment and fired a shot into the air. Brandi Dixon responded verbally, accusing Smith of threatening her over a man. Witnesses testified that before the stabbing, Dixon was seen twirling a knife. She allegedly said, "Where the fuck little man at? I'll kill me a bow one tonight." She repeatedly mentioned she had a knife. The 2 women had to be physically separated, but separation didn't last. During the dispute, Brandi Dixon stabbed Ebony Smith in the chest with a large kitchen knife. Ebony collapsed. She later died from the stab wound. After the stabbing, Dixon was found leaning against a nearby building, bleeding from her forehead and crying. She told others, "She just shot a gun at me. Police arrested Brandi Dixon and charged her with murder. At trial, Dixon claimed self-defense, arguing that Ebony Smith firing a gun justified her response. Her legal team argued insufficient evidence, ineffective assistance of counsel, and improper admission of evidence. Prosecutors argued Dixon instigated the confrontation, armed herself in advance, and escalated the situation. They maintained that Smith firing a gun into the air did not justify lethal force. A jury rejected Dixon's self-defense claim and convicted her of murder in 2022. She was sentenced to life in prison. In December 2025, the Georgia Supreme Court unanimously upheld Dixon's conviction, denying her request for a new trial. The court ruled the jury had the right to reject her self-defense argument. A reasonable juror could conclude Dixon provoked the incident. Her attorney's performance was adequate, and the judge's evidentiary rulings did not affect the verdict. Brandi Nicole Dixon is currently incarcerated in the Georgia Department of Corrections. Her appeals are exhausted. Ebony Smith is dead. George Duhart, the man they both fought over, walked away. Two women destroyed over a man who wasn't worth it. A love triangle ended in murder. But our final case involves a woman whose execution exposed the darkest face of injustice. Which case stayed with you most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video informative and compelling, leave a like to support the channel. Subscribe to Shattered Crime and hit the notification bell for more true crime investigations into the darkest corners of the American justice system. Next time, we're exploring cases of wrongful conviction, innocent people who spent decades behind bars for crimes they didn't commit. Until then, stay informed, stay aware, and remember, the truth is always darker than fiction. This is Shattered Crime.